thank you, Jamie, for speaking to us. So, can you tell me a bit about yourself and what you do, and how you came upon having to have a service from a nutritionist?
Okay, so my name is Jamie. I have a teeth whitening business. The reasons I needed a nutritionist was because a lot of issues with digestion, and fatigue. So I thought, okay, I need to see, and just like low energy. So I thought, okay, I'm going to see a nutritionist. That was really good. They were just able to we did a lot of tests and so forth like that, to establish, any food intolerances and so forth. And yes, I did have to write a diary and so forth, and then they would assess that, and she was able to tell me what I would need to do to improve my state of being.
Mm-hmm. So how long have you been with a nutritionist? How long have you been using the services?
I only used her for only 2 times, like 2 time sessions, because it was fairly simple. What we worked out was just a matter of, just establishing what the things were causing it, and I didn't actually. It wasn't anything so serious that no disease or anything like that. So it was just some changes I need to make. I didn't need to continue with a long-term plan.
Mm-hmm. And for what period of time was that? How long have you been required to write a diary, let's say?
I was required to write a diary for just 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I thought was okay, but it was interesting though, because at the time that I was writing it, I was actually being quite good. So I think that by the time I actually went to a nutritionist, I was already starting to think about some changes I needed to make. So sometimes the assessment I thought was kind of difficult to write, because if you start writing it from the time you're going there, sometimes you've already started to make improvements. Mm-hmm. So you're not really assessing what your diet was like prior mm-hmm. to trying to get better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking to a lot of clients, the nutrition clients that actually were needed to write the diary a bit longer or even for a week. But in that week, a lot of different things actually happened to their bodies, and they were actually talking to us about the way that they would be much more. It would be much more easier for them if they had a nutritionist that could actually track their progress even in that a week or so, because it would be. Their state would improve in 2 days, and then maybe it would be, it would be much better in 2 days, and then afterwards for 3 days they would feel a lot worse, and then a lot better in 2 days, and basically so how did you wrote the diary with the simple Word document, or how did that process actually look like?
Yeah, I basically just wrote things down in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So just every time I ate, I just wrote it down into my phone, and then when I had to give her the information, I just wrote it on a piece of paper and just gave it to her like that. So yeah, it would be good if there was an app, because the thing is that she said I'd just take a notebook or keep a food diary, but I wasn't going to walk around with a diary mm-hmm. just to write my food. So your phone is so accessible. I just wrote it down in that.
So it was cool for you to write it up, but you didn't use any application. You used it on mobile phone, and then you had to rewrite it again, right?
Yeah, just because notes. I have an iPhone, just the notes thing. I just wrote it in that, so that's all I did.
Okay, so that sounds.
And obviously I couldn't just send her notes as a message or something. So then I just wrote it all down on a piece of paper before I actually went to show her my actual food diary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit time consuming. So if you could take out that part, it just becomes a little bit tedious,
Absolutely, I agree. A lot of clients actually say that it's quite tedious to do that, all the manual writings, and then in the mobile, and then on the Word document, and then sometimes they need to even write it on the piece of paper, and that it just it's really
that piece of paper,
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll lose a piece of paper, and then I'll have to, then you'd have to remember to write it down, try and think about what you ate. One thing I did also do, and maybe this would be beneficial for your application, was to be able to, sometimes I would, if I couldn't be bothered at the time to write everything down, I would take a photo of my food, and then at the end of the day or whatever, or the next day, I'd I'd write down what I ate, because I can remember what I ate, but sometimes I just didn't want to do it at the time, so I just take a photo.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in GreenPie, clients, like people like they're using nutrition services can actually write diet diaries online, and they can upload pictures also of the foods and the portions and everything. So basically, like in GreenPie, you're connected to your nutritionist 24/7. So you can write the diet diary on your mobile phone, but online, and everything goes to the nutritionist. You don't have to rewrite anything. So even though you had like a therapy for only a week, would this be something that would actually be like beneficial for you as the end user to actually just write it automatically like online, and that you know that your doctor can see it like in seconds, and that you have like 24/7 basically his attention, that he can like write you a comment or just guide you through the process if needed?
Absolutely, absolutely. That'd be really helpful, because sometimes you think that you might be doing something good, and there's so much information out there today about like what is the right thing to eat, and sometimes it seems like your head is spinning because there's so many conflicting things. You don't really know if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. So it'd be good if you could get someone like that knows whatever issue it is that you're trying to work on, to actually be able to comment to you in real time.
So would it give you some kind of stability or sense that you're like more secure?
You know, have to make a guess. Yeah.
Yes, because a lot of clients actually had problems with just not being sure if they are writing the diet, like what they're eating, is it like okay, because their state would change like every day, and then if you don't talk to your nutritionist for a month or a week or something, a lot of things happen in a week, and that was like a really major concern for them. So one more question is like, did your like nutritionist or dietitian or like nutrition health provider, did he or she actually gave you the opportunity to use an application like this?
No, not at all. I'd not actually heard of anything like this.
And now you know that it would be something that you would like your nutritionist actually to tell you to use?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be quite helpful.
Great. So this is really, really good news for GreenPie, because that was the idea that we were going for, to actually help nutritionists and help the end user. So thank you, Jamie, a lot for sharing this quick testimonial with us. And hopefully next time, if you will need any kind of services from a nutritionist, you'll have them talk to you about GreenPie and help you out, basically.
I was actually looking to see a nutritionist, because I'd like to actually eat more vegetarian food, and
Absolutely.
I think that's something that you actually need to have a little guidance on to actually know. So yeah, if that would be really helpful in a circumstance like that, because you would really have to ask a lot of questions, I would imagine. That I know I have loads of questions about it, especially in regards to the vegan diet as well. So if I had a nutritionist that I could be asking questions or saying, is this right, blah blah blah, and commenting on what I was eating, to make maybe telling me whether during that day I was actually getting everything that I needed. If maybe I thought I was, but I wasn't, it'd be great to be able to have that guidance.
Great. So maybe it's time for the end user and a client to tell the nutritionist, like, give me a great application that I can feel secure with. That would be really cool, because sometimes nutritionists are thinking like, yeah, I don't want to, it's easier for me not to have a new kind of application, even though it helps the end user, and which is their clients that they're actually trying to help, which is kind of silly, but it's the way that sometimes world works. So this is why we're doing the podcasts like this, to actually show them that using an application and using the new technology, which can enable them to actually, them and their clients, people like you, to actually really easily and effortlessly just go through the process of changing diets, which is not easy for anybody.
Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie, a lot for this call, and hopefully you can talk to your nutritionist about something that's called GreenPie.